Welcome to the Produce Moms Podcast, where we believe there is a produce mom in all of us. I'm Lori Taylor, founder and CEO of the Produce Moms. For 10 years, I sold fresh produce to over 300 grocery stores in the U.S. And today, my team and I are fully focused on inspiring people to eat more fruits and vegetables. This show is just one of the ways that we hope to inspire you and your family to eat more produce and live a better life. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, join our community of almost 40,000 in all 50 states and over 30 countries by visiting theproducemoms.com/subscribe. And be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Thanks for being here. Enjoy today's show. Welcome back, everyone. Today on the Produce Moms Podcast, we are welcoming a real innovator. Andrea Watson is our guest today. She is the founder and chief brand ambassador of Nature Knows. This is a first-in-class, first of its kind, fully sustainable, eco-friendly packaging company. Nature Knows is ready to eat fresh fruits and vegetables sustainably is their tagline. And goodness, another amazing thing about Andrea, she is the first ever Canadian Woman in Food Entrepreneur of the Year. Her company, for this packaging, they've been recognized by Duke's 2019 Top Innovative Product. It's a real pleasure to welcome Andrea to the show. We're going to talk about all that she's done to really change the world with packaging. So Andrea, welcome.
Thank you, Lori. We're thrilled to be here. No pressure. Whoa, we're changing the world. Yes, I love it.
Yeah, you're changing the world. This is a big deal. That's why I scouted you to be on the show. I, keep a really close eye on all the things that are happening in terms of innovation that are affecting fresh fruits and vegetables and the produce industry at large. And I felt strongly when your company came across my radar. I was like, I don't think there's anything really like this. No. And then after speaking to you, this is really exciting. Like, I really think that you have a product that is going to change the world, and we do need more people to be aware of it. And I'm so glad you're here. So tell our listeners a little bit about you. Like, how'd you get started? What is this innovative packaging, and how did you bring it to market?
You got it. No, it's really exciting. We definitely are making a big change as we need. And how we got started was really, my journey of coming from the CPG world, working with the big guys like the Kraft and General Mills for over 18 years, and seeing the opportunities with my clients, both in the food service and the HMR on the go, being able to really provide consumers and families and moms like me and you and all of us that, want to take care of ourselves and eat healthier. The challenge with packaged goods, as we know, is really that healthy component. And to get more fruits and vegetables in there, really the options are, prepare it yourself. And the biggest disadvantage is we know it takes a lot of time and prep. And sadly, there's just a ton of packaging and a ton of waste. So how can we combat that? So when I saw this opportunity, it was really about, seeing how I could help my customers at the time. And my daughter was just starting school, and I knew I had to be making lunches. And I thought, all these moms that I had known, I was a late bloomer, so all my friends had kids prior. And so I had heard and saw the need for, healthier choices on the go, especially in the workplace where, we all seem to be working longer. As much as technology is supposed to be helping us, we are working harder and definitely longer hours, and we're all busier. That's not going away. So it was really this exciting part of creating that packaging that's going to, in turn, help us be more convenient, but also at the same time truly eat more fruit and vegetables on the go. But let's do it sustainably and get rid of all that plastic. So we were a little bit ahead of the curve. When I jumped in to help launch this company and invest in it, it was a big risk. It was scary. Like a lot of entrepreneurs, you really don't necessarily know what that outcome is going to be, but you just have that drive in your belly that you got to make that change and someone's got to do it. So okay, I was just so super excited to say.
And what year was that, Andrea?
That was 2016.
Okay.
So I did a little bit of homework first. So I didn't necessarily jump in. So I tested the market with some of my customers. At the time I was manufacturing a lot of ingredients and custom label with General Mills with our co-packers. They're selling granola and yogurts and the fruit and vegetable guys. I wasn't an expert at that at the time because I'd certainly come from more the dairy and the snack side. But I really had asked the experts that were in the fresh produce world, and why is this packaging not out here for everybody yet? So there was some test samples that we were working with, and for them to validate. We'd seen a little bit of this compostable, biodegradable material out there in Europe, a little bit in Australia, but it really hadn't come to fruition yet in North America. And so the challenge was, did it really work? Obviously test our IP and make sure that, that unique finish was going to truly give that freshness. So what we were able to find and do was a 2-step process. It was really about cleaning naturally. So with fruits and vegetables, great that we can chop and prep and come up with great recipes at home, but it's that convenient side of getting it on the go. The packaging allows it to be in a single serve or a family size or even meal kits, but we clean and wash it unique with a proprietary process that we created as well, naturally with no preservatives. So that was the other huge part. When I saw my customers, both on the food service, whether you're at a quick serve restaurant or whether you're at a hotel or whether you're at a cafeteria or school, all of these packages were in plastic, these little cups, the trays, those kinds of things. And I thought, okay, one thing that we're at least helping us eat more fruits and vegetables. However, we're just, the piles of plastic and obviously our resources, and how are we making a great example for our generations to come? We're not.
Right. And so that was 2016, 2017 then,
yeah,
the early
that's
stages.
Our first test year as we launched and developed the prototypes. Yeah.
And absolutely, I don't believe that the broader consumer, or even, I feel like the supply chain has always had a tight eye on this in a way, but it's being demanded by the consumer now in a way it never has been before. There's a consumer awareness of what it means to live sustainably. There is a social trend in plastic reduction happening really globally, and most definitely in the States. So tell us a little bit more about, I want to know a little bit more about the product itself, so that because I'm right along with our listeners right now. I've got a little bit more knowledge than, folks that are hearing about you for the first time, but I'm definitely a novice in my understanding of what you're producing here, Andrea. So help explain, what is the packaging? What's it made out of? Is it made out of plastic at all? Or what are the materials?
You got it. So yeah, it's number one of trying to understand, what does it look like? So it looks and performs like plastic. So it's kind of called plastic or eco-friendly plastic, but really at the essence, it's not. It's made out of corn. It's a breathable material that's fully compostable. So what comes from the earth goes back to the earth, but it will perform in a barrier. So imagine a little pouch, of fruits or vegetables, or think of it as a Ziploc bag. Now that material is actually fully compostable, but twofold, it actually breathes and stay fresh. So one of the tips that we see today is those gauze bags. Instead of buying those plastic produce bags, it allows it to breathe and stay fresh. We take it to a whole other step, because we've also done a cleaning proprietary process to be able to have it ready to eat, combined with this breathable film, but it has high barrier. So we've kind of coined this as the Gore-Tex for fruit and vegetable. Okay. It allows it to breathe and sweat and circulate, but increase that freshness. This is what's really key. We increase freshness 50% more than if it was in a plastic cup or tray. It's just huge in terms of saving the food waste.
Right. So you're extending the shelf life of these fresh cut fruits and vegetables that you're putting into your Nature's Nose 100% eco-friendly packaging.
You got it. So
you're protecting the planet.
Yeah.
You're adding to the shelf life.
You got it.
And you're eliminating plastic. So it just feels like, it's like the triple win here.
Exactly. I was going to say the words that I'm out. We really feel it's the triple, right?
Right.
Got that freshness. We want to eat convenient, even at times 4, because we've got the convenient side too. So which is exciting. So we've done, ability to take now the operator's biggest challenge is waste as well at the retail level. And then of course at home for the mom and the consumer. So we're really excited that the material, whether we've created little snack boxes. So you'll see on our website and our social media, a fun little format that looks like a little chocolate box, but the window inside is our happy face. We want people to get excited about eating produce and being fresh, but also being sustainable finally. Because, to your point, it's really come into full fruition. We've been talking about sustainability for years. It's been in a lot of corporate plans, but really the crux of, a lot of the criteria or any priorities has been against energy and water and lights and resources, which is all fantastic. But look at, how things have evolved, the images we see scattered everywhere of plastic piles, and the number that the ministry released last year is in the world right now, we're only recycling 9% of our plastics. We just have a horrible crisis amongst us. So we're just so super excited to know that combination of our material, both a snack box or now a flexible film that can now use. One of the exciting things I can share with you guys is taking the material not only for single pouches, but now into larger farm bags where it's a family or a sharing size. If you're a busy millennial or professional or you're busy mom and family, we've actually coined kind of like the great bags, if you will, with the compostable zipper. And the entire thing is food safe. There's no holes in it because it's all completely washed and ready to eat, combined with that breathable packaging to give you that.
So like those pouch bags that you see everywhere in the produce department. I mean,
it's really a game changer to now coin it over into more of the ready to eat and convenience and value, but adding the benefit of that extra shelf life. And of course, being sustainable and getting rid of the plastic. One of the things we do to help share and educate that message is, of course, our branding is, Nature Knows, but above our brand, we actually, call out that this is compostable. And we put a little message on the back of our bags to actually say, reuse this, wash it out. This will go back to the earth, to help. Because that's that big step to your point. It looks and feels like plastic. It's just not commonly done yet. We really are the innovators and the first ones. So we can now take that material into some really other exciting opportunities on lidding, on, traditional produce that are in the clamshells, the lidding that, generally has been hard plastic. We've started to see a movement to the softer film. We can now do that with our compostable. So nothing better than having a beautiful, maybe bottom of your earth tray, but you're still covering it in plastic. Now we can replace that and use our compostable film to allow it to breathe and stay fresh. And the entire thing now can protect the produce in a sustainable way.
Right. So it just sounds, what's it take for folks to convert to that? I mean, do they have to invest in new machinery, or is this something that is pretty applicable to and turnkey to the infrastructure that's already in place within our supply chain?
Yeah, great question. So twofold is there's some really simple ones that we can easily convert today to the consumer level, and from the retailer level is obviously there's going to be a little bit of premium. So the price has always been a bit of a concern, but what we're seeing from the consumer side is it's not that drastic. So from a small pouch, it might be a few cents, to the larger bags, it might be, upwards of an extra 10 to 50 cents. However, that value of choosing, and I kind of gave this example of the upcharge that we do today. If you upcharge the size of your coffee, you upcharge your burger or your snack to be able to be premium size, or add extra toppings, or add a slice of cheese. How about we say we're going to charge that extra little bit because this packaging is sustainable. And we are seeing the data come in that we are willing as a consumer to pay more for companies we believe in, that we align with our values, and then of course that are doing better for the environment to have, obviously a sustainable approach to help reduce plastic. We really feel we're going to get excited about that, and the cost factor is going to become much less. Look at the changes that we've had already. Just this past year has been, I think we're ahead of the curve, but that's okay. We were willing to jump in and be the first. But getting rid of straws, moving to bamboo or stainless steel, those are obviously more expensive, but consumers buying those and reusing them and taking that extra step. Or maybe you're bringing your extra bags to your stores, yourself, instead of using the plastic bags. So we've seen some great examples of changes happening, and we really think this is going to flow in line with that. So twofold with the other side is the two of the formats that we have today, the single pouches or the larger farm bags or snack boxes, depending if you want single serve or large. Those can easily be converted for what a lot of the growers or producers or even retailers are doing today.
And when you say snack boxes, do you mean like the bento style boxes, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, we actually have two styles. So we have like a bento box where it could be a lunch tray or a snack box. We also have like a mini size where it replaces a parfait cup. So like say 100 to 300 gram cup of chopped fruit or veg, you can now have our little snack box.
So you have the film, you have the pouch style bags, you've got the boxes or the parfait cups. I actually just read in one of the trade journals that there's been a coalition amongst all the different berry growing regions to phase out their clamshells, which I think is fantastic. And I think that your product could absolutely be a solution as they are transitioning to like the Earth Cycle style tray that they're going to have to put a film on top of for logistical purposes as well as, food safety. So this is exciting. I mean, your company's such a baby though. I mean, you're 3 years into this, which is you're just getting started. So, as demand and participation rises, those prices that you were talking about will drop. I mean, I know that from my high school economics class. So, but let's
innovation, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about, what it's going to take. I mean, 3 years into your entrepreneurial journey, I mean, we're really, honestly, Andrea, we're kind of at a similar stage of our entrepreneurial journey, but 3 years into yours, how are you going to make sure this thing sustains? Because like I said, it's the easy triple win. It makes sense.
You're right. Absolutely. And one of the ways that, I really believe coming from big brands, but also on the entrepreneur side and being fortunate to surround myself with amazing women entrepreneurs and foodies and just seeing other successes and different perspectives. That's one thing I feel really strongly about is just that connection and collaboration, working with other great brands. So when we talked about some of the formats that we have, like the snack tray or the bento or the bistro type tray, we have fantastic partners that want to collaborate because when we eat fruits and vegetables, it's such a natural pairing to go with a little granola bar or with a dip or with a cheese.
Sure.
And all of those companies are so excited because they know they need to get on the plant-based bandwagon. They also need to be more sustainable. To collaborate together is one area that we're going to be really trajectory in terms of building that brand kind of tenfold with the power of all of those other brands together. So that's one advantage that we've really been so fortunate to have fantastic.
Sure. And I would say you've got to have a competitive edge there too. I mean, you have a multi-decade career in the CPG space. You're going to know these companies. You're going to know the right people to make those collaborations come to life.
Absolutely. And a lot of them naturally are sort of finding themselves to us as we're out. And we've been attending a lot of trade shows and building our brand equity and presence of what we are and who we stand for. And as to your point, the consumer and the industry has started to really make these changes as well. It's really that sort of dynamic timing that we're aligned and we're parallel pathing to now help, to your point, with the berry growers just announcing. We're working, one of the things that we're doing as well is we're partnering with one of the biggest packaging and production companies in North America. I can't say who yet, but they're experts in the machinery as well as the materials.
Good.
And they also support a lot of the earth type trays on the bottom. Good. And we've been very successfully, I can share this, we had really positive test results with doing the lidding and the filming to go over those, and or our material itself can literally just adhere and it just heat seals on either end. So in terms of flow wrap for the producers and or for farming that, or doing bags, for example, of the salad kits that's very commonly used today. I'm also excited to share, we've been testing because we've had such demand to that point of pairing with other like things that go well with fruits and veg. The biggest component or challenge with a lot of these meal kits is all of those other plastic components that go in there.
That's why I quit. I quit 2 different services because I was like, I don't need a plastic bag with 1 teaspoon of cinnamon in it.
So we laugh, but at the same time, it's such a sad state. And we are just inundated. And it's the biggest, if you ask any of the meal delivery companies that have also done, phenomenal jobs of bringing value and helping maybe reduce waste and being more convenient for busy moms and families or professionals, yet the biggest complaint they have is still packaging. So we're really excited for hopefully them to take that next step to say, yes, it might be a little bit more cost for a component ingredient, but secondly, maybe even add more fruits and veg as a side snack to now get our healthier eating up as just a pure incremental sale. So twofold, we can help them reduce the packaging and help, obviously eat more fresh and healthy, but be sustainable at the same time. So it's exciting. So we can just share one exciting new piece. We've tested a metallized material using our corn-based film to get a higher barrier. So now not only can we do fresh, We can now also do the components that might need a higher barrier. If it's a nut, if it's a meat, a cheese, a dip, we can now offer the full solution for all of the flexible film for pouching to be able to now have 100% compostable collaboration to eat more fruits and vegetables sustainably. So we're just beyond excited to be able to share that. And that's literally hot off the press this week.
Wow.
So
yeah. Congratulations.
We had this interview. I was so excited to share that.
Good. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Sometimes the stars align, and a big way I feel like they have with your journey and passions here, because the time is right for this kind of innovation. The time is now. The demand and interest in your product spans that entire path to purchase, the entire supply chain from the very first input all the way down to the end consumer. This product serves everyone's goals. I have a question for you, and I should know this answer. But I know I'm not the only person who's like, probably, I know that there's listeners. If I don't know the answer, I know there's listeners today that don't know the answer. But so what if I don't compost at home? I mean, I know I should, but I'm just being really honest. I don't, what about a consumer like me who's lazy about composting? How does your product, what happens if your product ends up in a landfill?
Absolutely. And it's actually one of the top questions we get all the time, because to see the challenge with whether you're busy at home, it's also a lot of cities, municipalities and towns from a political point of view. Unfortunately, there's just not been the investment for mass compost, systems in place yet. Great on the organic food side, but even when we're doing that at home, not always the way. So if it doesn't get into the compost bin, I'm helping people, like part of our message in the education is so key, is that what's compostable means it's going to break down. 90% of that material has to break down. In a backyard compost, it can break down within a year. Mm-hmm. And commercially, it will break down in 3 months. But to your point, if you don't have a composter, what do you do, or what's going to happen to it? I'm calling and helping share the fact that, we're not going to build Rome in a day. However, the material itself is all natural. There's no chemical. It's corn-based. What came from the earth is going to go back to the earth. And so if it gets into a landfill, it's still going to break down. Maybe not quite as fast, but guess what? There's absolutely no repercussion in terms of, cross
environmental health. Yeah.
Exactly. The gases, those types of things that seem to be a misdemeanor and a lot of gray area or confusion. Oh, if it goes in landfill, well, it's just a waste. Well, no, it still is waste, but it's going to break down, and we're calling it the good garbage because it's still going to break down.
Sure. Well, thank you for clarifying that.
Hey,
and I'll go on record with saying I'm going to try harder with our at-home composting. I'm just, also being very honest when I say I'm lazy about it and not good at doing it. So,
but hey, at least with this material, if you end up having some of our pouches and end up, some of the farmers decide to switch over to the salad kits or whatever you're using, then at least it's not going to be creating more chemical in our landfill. It's going to break.
Right. Yeah, no, it's very, very good. Very good. Well, my goodness, I am energized. I'm excited for you. This is, I feel like I'm just, gosh, I'm so glad I discovered you. No, warm congratulations, Andrea, on this incredible innovation. I think that, accolades like the first ever Canadian Woman in Food Entrepreneur of the Year, accolades like that are going to continue to come. I mean, this is the real deal here, folks. And Andrea, I look forward to helping you spread the good news about what you are doing, as well as, what the product's all about. I mean, Nature Knows eco-friendly packaging. You guys, everyone, please make sure you visit natureknows.ca to check it out. Familiarize yourself with what Andrea and her team are doing. Andrea, cannot thank you enough. Cannot wish you, the best. It's not even luck. Like, you just keep going, girl. This is amazing.
I just took over the company a year ago, so we're really excited to expand the portfolio with a variety of formats that we have now, and especially with the newer innovation to expand into other products that we're going to complement But we are really, like you said, it's that growing excitement. It's the need. It's needed yesterday. We're in a crisis with, our world and our resources. We need to eat better. How do we help make fruits and vegetables more available and minimize all that plastic and that waste? Like, we're just so thrilled that we can be that advocate, yes, through the growing pains of being an entrepreneur and starting up, but we are looking, to scale, and we're actively out talking to the right partners. So if anyone's out there interested to align and want to make a difference, we're certainly open to that conversation. And to be able to get out there to the retailers, a lot of the challenges we shared is innovation. They're kind of concerned, is the consumer going to pay for it? But I challenge them and say, we all have our voice. Ask your retailer to make these changes. You have that opportunity now. The retailers are listening more than ever. I just had the great opportunity to sit with a major retailer in Canada who is the first ever. I'm going to give them a shout out because they've done a fantastic job to ban plastic bags in all their stores. Sobeys has a very advocate, message to share that they are really supporting, the economy here, of making sure that they're thinking about the generations to come and supporting local and local entrepreneurs that are doing great things. So more of that needs to happen. And we're just so excited that we can be a part of that journey, and just thrilled to get to know you and be a part of the show and share with all your listeners that, we can all make a difference, and there is a great choice now. And it's just more about, let's get it out there and talk to everyone we know, whether you're on the produce side, the manufacturing, or the retail. And then, of course, at the consumer level, we can eat well. Check out natureknows.ca or at Nature Knows Inc. on our Instagram for more exciting things to come. And we just can't wait to hear from you and hear your feedback too.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Produce Moms Podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a featured guest, just send an email to Lori@theproducemoms.com. We know there is a produce mom in you because there's a produce mom in all of us. Join our community on Facebook and all social platforms. Help us change the way America eats. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.